now that I'm sweaty and gross, let's do this thing. Alright guys, Adrianne here, and I'm going to share with you the 5 things that I did not expect about being pregnant. Intro. Okay, so the number one thing that I did not expect about being pregnant is the stuffy nose. So this was honestly the first thing that made me think that I might be pregnant. I knew that I wasn't sick. I never usually have a stuffy nose at all. And then one day I was like, why do I have a stuffy nose? I think I might be pregnant. And guess what? I was. So I had absolutely no idea before I got pregnant that that was actually a symptom, but it is. And it's actually one of those awesome symptoms that stays the entire length of your pregnancy. So I've literally had a consistently stuffy nose for 9 months. So much fun. Number 2, back pain. So I knew that back pain was going to happen at some point. I figured it'd be way later on the road and I'd have it because my stomach was so big and all that junk. But turns out you can get it way earlier. So actually my back pain was the worst in the first trimester. Like, excuse me, I had ice cream earlier, way too much. Not a good idea. It was so bad that if I laid flat anywhere, whether it be the floor, on my bed, on the couch, anywhere, if I laid flat on my back, then I would be stuck. Like, couldn't get up. The pain was so bad. I would have to call Aaron to have him come pick me up because I literally could do nothing. So I did not expect that in the first trimester at all. I'm so out of breath because my lungs are crushed. I just need to breathe. Give me a second. Okay, where was I? Number 3 is maternity clothes. So yeah, when we first got pregnant, I told Aaron, like, you understand that this means that I'm going to have to buy a whole new wardrobe. I'm going to have to buy all these clothes because nothing's going to fit me anymore. And bless his heart, he was like, oh yeah, baby, I totally understand. But praise the Lord, I did not have to do that because halfway through I was like, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a whole new wardrobe. Like, if I'm going to buy new clothes, I want to buy clothes that I can wear after, not just for 3 months. And so I ended up buying a ton of clothes that were non-maternity that work with a belly. And it's so easy to find stuff too. Like, so many dresses nowadays are just loose fitting. The swing dresses, those are perfect as long as they're long enough. And then there's lots of dresses that, you know, have the A-line. And then those perfectly poof out for your belly. And they're super cute too and really flattering. I did buy a couple staple items. I got these shorts, which are awesome. They were $14 at Old Navy. I got a pair of maternity jeans and a pair of maternity leggings. And then I had a couple friends who bought me dresses, which was so cool. But besides that, like, I don't have anything maternity. Like, everything is non-maternity that I plan on wearing after the baby too, which I love. So you guys, you do not have to buy everything that they put out there. Like, maternity sweaters, give me a break. Like, that's such a scam. Don't buy a maternity sweater. It's just a normal sweater. Just wear a normal sweater. Oh, I'll give you a little bonus 3.5, a little 3.5 here. I did not expect to grow a 3rd boob. Okay, so I didn't actually grow a 3rd boob. That's just what Aaron and I call it. But so when your breasts are developing for breastfeeding and the milk and all that stuff, there's all this extra breast tissue that comes, and sometimes you can get a little bit stuck in your armpit. And so I have this like extra breast tissue. You really can't see it because I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I have all this extra breast tissue right here. And so when I wear tank tops or anything like that, like this side's just like, and then this side's totally normal, and it looks super weird. And we call it my 3rd boob because when I first noticed it, I Googled it to see what it was. And this lady's like, oh yeah, I got all this extra breast tissue in my armpit, and then milk started coming out of it. And I was like, what? Like, no, that's not happening. I'm not growing a nipple. It's literally just a little bulge of extra tissue. And it's not a big deal. My doctor said as soon as I start breastfeeding, it's going to go away. But I'll keep you posted if any milk comes out of it. But don't think I'm gross. I'm just real with you guys. Moving on to number 4. Number 4 is awesome. I love number 4. Number 4 is sex. Yes, sex. I'm married. He put a ring on it. It's covenant, so I can talk about it. Booyah. Anyways, I thought that once I got pregnant, that was like a death sentence for my sex life. I was like, Aaron's not gonna want to have sex with me. I'm not gonna want to have sex. I'm gonna be big. I'm gonna be sweaty. I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be uncomfortable. It's not gonna happen. We're not gonna have sex forever. That's literally what I thought. I was so wrong. So the cool thing about pregnancy is you've got all these hormones, and the hormones suck. But the hormones are also awesome when they up your sex drive. So actually, we've been having a ton of sex. And it's awesome. And it's actually really good for you when you're pregnant too. So it's good for you because it's exercise, which can be hard for us pregnant ladies to get. So it's good exercise, and also it helps soften your cervix. So when you're as pregnant as I am now, it can actually help to kickstart labor, which I'm like, heck yeah, bring it on. So yeah, sex is awesome. Might not happen for everybody, but for me, the pregnancy totally upped my sex drive, which I did not expect at all. How many times can I say expect in this video? I don't know. Number 5. Number 5 is pelvic and abdominal pressure. So everybody tells you everything they experience during pregnancy, right? But nobody told me about the abdominal and pelvic pressure. This happens when you're nearing the end of your 3rd trimester and your baby engages. And so what that is when your baby descends down lower into your like pelvic area. The baby does this in preparation for labor. And for your first pregnancy, it can happen a couple weeks before you go into labor, but for like multiple pregnancies, it just happens right before you go into labor. So maybe that's why people didn't tell me, because they forgot, because it was our first baby. But for me, it was intense because we were filming a wedding and I was on my feet probably 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And by the end of the night, I had this insane pain and pressure like in my lower abdominal and pelvic area. And I'm thinking like, oh my goodness, I totally overdid this, like totally hurt myself. I'm gonna be out, like I need to go to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. But what it was, and I was out for like a day because it was super painful and I was sore because I was on my feet all day. But it wasn't anything big. It's not a big deal. My midwife was like, no, your baby actually just descended. Your baby engaged, and now they're down lower into your pelvic area, ready for labor. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And so I want you first-time mamas to know that once you feel that pain and that pressure, there's nothing wrong. You're totally fine. It just means that your baby came down a little bit lower. And I just keep doing the same motion. This is the baby's head, and it's going down into the pelvis. Yeah, it's a nice move. So yeah, the pain, the pressure right down here, as that was at 35 weeks that happened to me. But it can happen anytime in those last few weeks of your 3rd trimester. So the pressure is no big deal, totally normal, just means your baby is in the right position for labor. So rock on, babies. Okay, ladies, so that is all I have for you. Maybe you already knew all of this stuff and you're like, this girl doesn't know anything about pregnancy. How is she 9 months pregnant? Yeah, maybe that's true. Maybe I don't know anything. Maybe I was super surprised. But for those of you who didn't know this stuff, now I hope you have a little bit more information to make you feel a little bit more comfortable about the adventure to come over the next 9 months. It is awesome, and you guys are going to so enjoy it. But comment below if there were other things that you guys had that you didn't expect, that nobody told you about, because I would love to hear them and see if we have some more in common. So don't forget to like this video, to share it, to comment, to subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye!